I can't say I have a favorite tattoo because it would sort of, I don't know, in my head lessen the feeling of the other tattoos that I've gotten, because that tattoo was very special in that moment in time, and I can't discredit, what was once my favorite. Favorites, your feelings of how, many pieces and all the art that you get will change over time, but I think, I think they're all my favorite for their own unique reasons. Hi, my name is Sooraj Saxena. I am the founder of Shakti, a lifestyle brand helping to empower people to be more self-aware and love themselves. I felt like I always went against the grain. I always felt a little bit more on the rebellious side, but my mom always inspired me, allowed me to be my most expressive self, supported my creative endeavors. So growing up was a very beautiful blessing. I would always say creative has always been my #1 outlet, and I never thought about what my life would look like without it, just because the hunger to express myself in a healthy way has always been a driving force. When I was 18, I never considered getting a tattoo. I know my friend, I looked up to him in a lot of ways, and I saw he was gonna get a tattoo, and he's like, hey, you should come along with me. It was a very heat of the moment experience. He was like, dude, you should probably get a tattoo too. I was like, my mom is probably gonna kill me. But yeah, let's do it. Before that, it was never in my wheelhouse, like, oh, I'm gonna get my body tattooed, or I had this vision of what I wanted art on my body to look like. It just kind of, the direction was granted to me when you least expect it. So it's something that just unfolds. A lot of people within a Hindu brown community have always gotten an Om on their forearm. It's pretty cliche, but that was my first tattoo. And my mom didn't talk to me for about 3 or 4 days. Part of me knew it was gonna make her upset, and part of me was okay with that, because I knew at the end of the day, if you live within the constraints of your own mind or other people's narrative that they write for you, you're never gonna truly be happy or be able to express yourself. Especially in the Indian, South Asian community, not many people get tattoos at all. So for her, it was a state of ignorance almost. It's associated with people who are involved with different types of scenes that she's foreign to. She ended up lightening up, loving it. So all in due time, patience. I would definitely say, with my experience of truth, what I've been able to take from Hinduism and my own unique spiritual journey, I found it as a form of devotion in my own respect and my form of expression. So I think, in my eyes, spirituality and Hinduism really leans into tapping into the energies within you that best express who you are and what energies you're trying to channel. I would definitely say a lot of the tattoos that I've gotten have been kind of experienced within my own story and narrative as I've been writing it. I always leave a little room for spontaneity and fluidity when it comes to working with an artist, so they have their own creative touch on it, hearing what they may have to say. So allowing some vibrational collision to occur when collaborating with somebody is always beautiful, because then you can start to see things from a perspective that you might not know, because a lot of people who get tattoos aren't really well versed on how it's placed or how it's going to look like. So being open to maybe holding off until you have a better refined idea. There's some things that you just know feels right, and if you can have a really strong vision of what you want your ideal future self to look like 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line, and if it fits that image of who you are trying to foster and become, then you can get it right away. And I think I'm happy that I've gotten mine at sometimes the moment that I feel most drawn to get it. And if that's really quick, I'm going to do it real quick, because sometimes you don't need to hold off too long when all you have is right now. And relying on a future date 3-4 years into the future, what's the point if it's never promised? So, yeah. I always felt that mandala pieces were a good symbol for my internal spiritual journey and how that's dancing with the physical world. I always wanted my neck to be fully covered. I wanted to do it because I knew I would look amazing in it. And honestly, like, that was like my first draw into it. Like, it looks great, it looks beautiful, especially with neck pieces. It's like, how can you look into the mirror every day and then find a way to add on to the beauty that you already are? And I felt like this was just the most complimentary piece to go with, my body that I'm constantly growing into and evolving in. A lot of the pain was here on the side, but what I remember the most, surprisingly, was like here. I don't know why, on my collarbone. Like, that was some of the most agonizing pain I've ever felt in my entire life. But on the jaw, I felt like I was so deeply immersed into psyching myself into feeling that the pain was a good thing, and that it was actually something that didn't need a biased, bad or good feeling. I was trying to just accept it as a happening. And yeah, so for the most part, I would just say that for the neck tat, I would say the bottom was pretty bad for sure. I don't know, I feel like I get a lot of my inspiration from traditional Hindu paintings. I get a lot of inspiration from art I see on TikTok, Pinterest, just Instagram. You can pull inspiration from so many different places, but sometimes when you're just scrolling on the web and you just find something that clicks your eye, you're like, I wonder how I could use that in a way that's uniquely my own and expressive of my own nature. Sometimes we create meaning as a form of comfort and safety, but in reality, sometimes if you're just drawn to it, I think that's even more powerful than needing to write yourself an explanation. I think a lot of the things that I do want to show is like, hey, this form of expression can be expressed in 15 billion ways, just like how someone else is just another expression of you, right? So when someone sees you, they are subconsciously getting permission to step into their own truth and power as they see you doing. So I think it's part of this collective where we're trying to help one another. There's people who are looking at you who are actually looking up to you in ways that you would never imagine. And there are people who are really happy and inspired and truly can love themselves because they see you doing the same. So yeah, I think it's all part of a connection that might not be aware of at the time, but over time you'll understand that like some of the things that you do, the ways you express yourself, are actually truly healing and joyous things for the world to experience and witness. Yeah.